Okay, hello everyone. It's me again. Well, yesterday was my first day fat biking out on snow. It was a wonderful time. We had a great time out there. A bunch of people from the local area were doing something to do with the Global Fat Bike Day. So we got out there. It's one of the good local trails. There's some trails that the local group grooms, and it was pretty good. Little soft conditions. Like I said, it was my first time mountain biking on snow on fat bike. Went down a couple times, nothing too bad. Just where the trail, the soft snow on the side of the trail, kind of caught me off guard a little bit and went down, but landed in nice soft kind of powder. And so far, the Fezzari King's Peak has been working pretty good. Bought me some of these pogies. Some inexpensive Rock Brothers. These are just basic neoprene style bar mitt. Kind of hard to see down in there. The only thing I don't like about these is they don't have like any little strap on the inside. So they tend to kind of want to rock back and forth. They kind of slip back and forth on the end of the bar. So I might fabricate some kind of internal flap. Some of the guys I rode with had Rock Brothers just like these or similar to them, and they had little retaining straps inside to keep it from slipping around. So I might do that. I also I think I maybe mentioned in the previous video that I was going to purchase a Manitou Mastodon Pro limited edition. And I did, and it came in. It was on a Black Friday sale. Came in, I put it on Friday, the day before yesterday. I used to work at a bike shop during the 90s, and I had some experience installing front forks, suspension, so it wasn't too bad. Here's the old fork, the carbon one that came with the bike. So I took it off. I just had to carefully pop off the bearing race on the crown there, and a little bit of a paint nick getting it off, but carbon steer tube. So there's that. That's pretty lightweight. It's a nice fork, and who knows, I might put it back on again one of these days. But here's the Manitou Mastodon Pro. Sorry, my fingers are in the way. Limited edition, so it's got that kind of snow camo scheme to it. These are the King's Peak runs 27.5 by, I got these Terrain cake eaters on here. They're 27.5 by 4.5, set up tubeless. And you can see I got, in my opinion, plenty of space. This the Manitou Pro, Mastodon Pro LE, I believe only comes in the extended edition. And up riding on the snow yesterday, didn't have a whole lot of snow buildup riding, but I think that's plenty of clearance all the way around. The hydraulic cable routing looks like it's got plenty of space there. A couple of zip ties, and put on the Cooks, or the Clarks. The Clarks brakes back on, and it worked great. You know, it's tough to say in the softer trail conditions that we were in. You know how much it was my tires versus the shock, but that's about where I was getting about that much travel. It's got the high and low speed compression adjustment. To me, I will say these are kind of hard for me to turn, especially maybe they'll break in a little bit. Let me switch hands here. Geez, sorry again for the wiggle. But open, closed. This top black one, I just have a hard time getting this stupid thing to kind of move separate, independently. very tight. So, but we'll see. I'll probably end up just, I tend to run my shocks, forks, and rear suspensions, pretty openish. So I'll play with that a little bit more. Took me a while. To me, it seems like Manitou's website, they don't like have a good, at least that I could find yet, a good overall like user's manual. They have good manuals on how to tear the thing apart, but I was just looking for a basic, like, okay, where do I put the air in? And I thought this was it, but that's not where you put the air in. I mean, it wasn't difficult to find out. There's some videos out there, but yeah, you just unscrew this cap on this left leg, and there's a little Schrader valve. Not a problem. So that's the Manitou Pro LE. And I thought it would look pretty cool in that white camo with the white Fezzari. It looks alright. It looks pretty good. I like it. So it should be good. And like I say, after riding out on the dirt trails, the first couple rides I had I don't know, this might be a bike that I end up riding quite a bit off-road during the summertime. All right, then one more thing. Let's see, I purchased a little frame bag. I kind of want to avoid putting a bag on the dropper post. I have other bikes where I've done that. It just seems like it kind of interferes with being able to drop the seat down all the way with the little, usually there's a strap right around the seat post. So I figured I want to go with something like this, and big enough that I can carry a spare tube. But with that, I couldn't quite run, I had to take off one of my water bottle cages. I couldn't run a water bottle right here without it really pushing up against this bag. So I'll still play around with that a little bit. I initially was going to put the water bottle here, and I did, but I'm like, I don't know if that'll flip up a lot of snow and debris. I've had bikes before that had a water bottle mount on a down tube underneath, and it does get kind of gunks up your water bottles. And finally, the last thing I did, I just got these in yesterday, so I didn't have time to put them on, but I'm studying the tires. I'm kind of followed. I asked some of the guys online, and some of the local trail guys are like, yeah, you don't really need studs for around here. It doesn't get too icy, but I kind of fell into the mindset of like, I'd maybe rather have them and not need them, and need them and not have them. So I'm going to see how they go. See how they perform. I bought these off of bikestuds.com. Came in a kit. I bought a couple bags of 250, which probably overkill, but I just wasn't sure how often the studs would pop out. I'm getting ready to do the front tire. And as I mentioned before, I've ridden these already off-road. So in a lot of these pockets where the studs go, I got little rocks. So what I'm doing is taking a little tiny little screwdriver I have. I kind of filed the corners off just a little bit. I'm sure I would have to, you'd have to probably push in pretty hard to pop anything. So I'm basically having to come in here and pop out these these little tiny pebbles like that. So I'm going through each hole, drinking a beer while I'm doing it. Sorry, it's kind of hard when I'm holding a phone and trying to get this little pebble out. So I'll shove that in there, kind of like that. And just kind of meticulously going through hole by hole. And of course, a lot of the little rocks break. So I'm just following the technique that was that the bikestuds.com website had posted. So pretty easy. So I'll go through and do that. What I've been putting in the studs, and again, according to their website, I've been noticing that it's way easier to put the studs in. I got some studs there. What I've been doing is just taking a rag and kind of wetting down the top of the knob with water. And let's see, where's my tool? Alright, I also bought this little T-handle stud installation tool. Alright, so let's see if I can, sorry again, working with a cell phone, trying to do this all one-handed. So take the stud, pop it in there. It has a little bit of a magnet to it. And let's see if I can put one of these in. All right, kind of grip it. But yeah, I did notice that on the other ones on the back tire, once I did the put a little bit of water on it, oop, it might be too difficult with just one hand. Whoa! This is probably a waste of time to try to show people, but because it's not that hard. You kind of get one corner in there like that, and you just kind of work it around. Trust me, with two hands, to be able to stabilize the tire, it's a lot easier. I'm making it look ridiculous. All right, let's see if I can do this here. There. One stud installed with one hand by a moron trying to hold a cell phone. All right, and what, about 189 or so more to go. But not too bad. I just went with the basic flat tip style because I've never had studs before. That may end up not being in conditions real icy out here, so we'll see how well that stays in there. And if I get any added traction, or maybe after a couple of rides I'll make another video with some feedback. All right, so 2022 Fezzari Kings Peak. Changed out the front fork with the Manitou Mastodon Pro LE. Throwing on some studs from bikestuds.com. A couple of bags and bar mitts. And yesterday morning when we started out, it was about 7 degrees Fahrenheit. That was cold, for me at least, for temperatures we're kind of used to. That was pretty chilly. And my water bottle started to freeze, of course, so I had a hard time keeping the mouth piece flowing with liquid. But so I got to figure out a different, do some research and figure out how to keep that water from freezing in low temperatures like that. I'm sure there's a million websites out there, people talking about how to do that for people who live and ride in a lot colder places than I do. So, all right, well, thanks everybody, and we'll talk to you. Oh, one more thing. Up at this trail, I went up there and had my tire pressure at about 4 pounds, 3 to 4 pounds. And as I was riding, we stopped at one point, and I noticed like I had the latex. At first I thought it was like weird drippings of snow, but I'm like, wait, snow's water and it's not white. It looked like I had little streams of milk running out of my bead, between the bead and the tire. And boy, I was just running that low of a pressure, and especially for somebody who's brand new to fat biking, especially in the snow. You know, there's this constant sensation of getting a flat tire because the tire is so, I have it pumped up a little bit now to put the studs in, and that's part of it, just getting used to it. But one of the guys that rides with us, or the rode with us yesterday, he recommended a product called Fatty Strippers. A little latex belt strip that goes, so you take your tire off, and I'll put a latex strip over the top of my rim, remount the tire, get it all pumped up, and it'll have some excess. Well, you can go to this fattystripper.com or fatty strippers. I don't remember one of the two. Kind of a funny name. But the guy I rode with, he swears by him. He said, because apparently over time, the latex inside the stands and the latex little strip that you put in sort of form almost a bond, where he says to the point where he can take his tire off in the summer, and the latex little strip is still attached to his tire, and he can still, basically it still holds air. So basically it's according to him, a really good burp-free style of setup. And that was what I was afraid of, is I was going to burp pop the bait off a little bit going over bumps. Now, of course, everything seems okay. Latex is doing its job, but I'm going to try those fatty strippers, and maybe I'll make a little video on installing those, see how it goes. All right, enough of my babbling and rambling thoughts. Okay, thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.